How many times have you tried fasting hoping that that will be the solution to your weight, your hormones, and your energy, only to feel like it either didn't work at all or it left you feeling frustrated, tired, and exhausted all the time with cravings through the roof? Well, you are not alone. Fasting sounds very simple because it just means that you just need to eat in a shorter window. You will cut out your breakfast and you start your first meal at 2 o'clock. And most of us hopes that the fat will just melt off. But if you're a woman in your 30s, 40s, or 50s and outward with stress, hormones, and muscle loss concerns, let me tell you, it is not that straightforward. So in this video, I really want to give you the real clarity whether fasting is good for you or maybe you shouldn't even try it. I'm going to cover what fasting actually does to your body, why it works for some people, and why it backfires for others. And also, I'm gonna give you exactly the plan on what to do instead if your goal is fat loss and longevity and just overall feeling happy in your own body. And I can promise you that this will absolutely change the way you think about food, your results, and fasting. So let's talk about why most people get fasting wrong. When most women start fasting, they usually start focusing on the wrong thing, which is the outcome. They want the energy go up quick. They want to see the weight go down really fast. They also want their belly fat to be gone immediately. And just like with any goal, if you focus on that one specific thing too much, you get hyperfixated, you end up frustrated. The reason why is because the scale doesn't move fast enough or how you expect it. Then your cravings come back, you lose momentum. And honestly, the reason why I'm saying this is because this is exactly what I went through too in the past. Until I realized that what actually matters is not necessarily the results, it's the input. So, and with fasting, it means that you want to ask yourself a few questions before you even start. Ask yourself, what are you eating when you are eating? Are you getting enough protein? Are your glucose levels stable? And is your body stressed out from everything else in your life? Because you need to remember that fasting isn't the magic fix. But if you don't use it right, it will backfire. So now let's look at the science. In rats, early studies showed fasting extended lifespan up to 80%. But later studies showed way smaller effect. And in mice, it was even less consistent. And then scientists tried in monkeys. And two huge 20+ year studies showed opposite results. One showed that calorie restrictions helped monkeys to live longer, and the other, no difference at all. And the reason? Food quality. In the first study, monkeys ate high sugar and high processed foods, so cutting calories helped. But in the second study, monkeys ate clean whole foods. So fasting didn't add much benefit. And that tells us something important. It's not about just when you eat it, it's about what you are eating. So the truth is that fasting has its own benefits, but it's mainly because what it reduces and what it removes. First thing first, let's talk about your glucose and insulin levels. Means fewer glucose spikes means less insulin. And this helps if you are insulin resistant, if you are pre-diabetic, or you are really struggling with cravings. And now let's talk about metabolic flexibility. Your body learns to use fat for fuel instead of needing carbs every few hours. And that's great. And it learns how to eat balanced meals. But you can also do this without fasting by reducing glucose spikes, walking after meals, and eating balanced meals. Let's talk about the word autophagy. Did I pronounce it right? I'm not sure, but you can read it here. And I want you to think about this as like a cellular spring cleaning. When you fast, your body starts breaking down damaged cells and using them for energy. This is super powerful for longevity, even early stage cancer prevention. But autophagy also happens when you sleep, when you move your body, and just overall stop producing processed foods. You don't need to starve to get the benefits. And here is what most people don't talk about when it comes to fasting. When you fast without eating enough protein and doing resistance training, your body doesn't just burn fat, it burns your muscles too. Your muscles is your metabolism. It protects your bones, it balances your hormones, and it determines how you age. One study found that people who did alternate day fasting lost way more muscle than people who just ate fewer calories consistently. So if you fast, you must prioritize protein. I recommend 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And it's not easy, I know it, but it makes such a huge difference. So if you are going to fast, even after listening to this video, here is how you want to do it smarter and in a better way. You really want to start slow. Even cutting out few snacks and eating in 10-hour window can be a great start. Make sure that you break your fast with protein and fiber, never with sugar or starches. And that means skip the smoothie and go for eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or just any savory meal. And time it to your stress levels. You have to remember that fasting is a stressor. If you're already feeling overwhelmed, this might not be the best time to start fasting. For women especially, fasting can really backfire at times of high stress, poor sleep, or perimenopause, because hormones matter. So what to do instead? Instead of obsessing over how long you need to fast, ask yourself, am I getting enough protein? Am I moving daily? Am I keeping my blood sugar stable? You don't have to starve to get lean. You just need to fuel your body smarter. And also you need to prioritize your metabolism, your hormones, and your muscle. So stop chasing those shortcuts because they're not built for your body, your hormones, and just your lifestyle. If fasting works for you and you feel amazing, that's great, but it's not the only way. Most of the benefits people get from fasting comes from eating less junk, eating fewer times a day, and giving their digestion break. And you can do all of that without fasting. Focus on the input, which means your meals, your movement, your recovery, and that's truly what moves the needle. And if this video helped to clear things up, hit the subscribe button, give it a like, and maybe share it with someone who is feeling lost with all this fasting trend out there. And if you want my food freedom guide, make sure you will click the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.